Okay, I wanted to talk real quick about how to save money in your lockpicking hobby. And specifically, I was going to talk about making challenge locks since I just finished making one the other day. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. I have tools, but I don't here at the house. It's out of my shop, and decided I wanted to see, how cheaply could you make one. So you're supposed to use a Dremel, right? Dremels cost money, but there is a cheap alternative. These cheap little Chinese things. This one sold by Harbor Freight. It's not great. It's got play, so you have to be really careful or you end up with pins, a few of mine specifically, that look really ugly. But once you get some practice with it, they start to turn out better. But it comes with this whole assortment of parts, including all the different collets that you need for the different pin sizes. Sanding drums, some buffing stuff, which could come in handy for polishing up picks. The drill bits I've added. But that, and it comes with some cut-off wheels and some other little attachments. But most importantly, it comes with the collets and it works. This sells right now at Harbor Freight, regular price $9.49. It's not going to break your bank. And what did I use to actually carve the pins with? A hacksaw blade. This is a 32 tooth per inch metal cutting hacksaw blade. That's not expensive. And a cheap serrated paring knife that I picked up at Winco Foods when I was grocery shopping for $2. Some sandpaper. This is $400. You can pick that up really cheap. You're gonna need something to use. Well, actually, I say you're going to need. You don't actually need. It's handy to have a plug follower. But the plug followers I have, this one came with my Sparrow's reload kit, and it works really well on Slage locks, and it works well on some of the other name brand locks, but it did not work for my challenge lock because it's just a little too big around. So I used the plug itself. You have to be a little more careful, but it works. And then you don't have to buy one. You will need, there's really no way to get around it. You're going to need a pair of tweezers, preferably a pair of pinning tweezers. Whatever tools you need to get, either the clip or in this case the screws off the back of the cylinder. Cheap screwdriver kit you can pick up at anywhere. You're going to need a place to store your pins. Again, I have pinning trays from my Sparrow's reload kit, but you could use a folded piece of paper or a piece of corrugated cardboard with one part torn off. And if you want a tap, this is 632 tap for threading pin chambers. Don't even actually need a tap handle. What I did with this was just start the tap in, and then I revolved the plug or what, around this. I held this steady and it worked just fine. Don't forget to use oil. Then when it started to get tight, my good old Leatherman, you could use any pair of pliers, but I just held it in place. And that, and again, just turned around it. But let's see. Actually, back to the plug followers. there are many things you can use, like this. This is the one I use for my padlocks, and it's just a piece of a pen that happened to be the right diameter. I cut off one part. It does flare a little bit at this end, so you have to put it in and pull it out this way, but works just fine. As far as picks, I got some dimple picks because I started doing dimple locks. You get these cheap Chinese kits. They come square, rough, nasty, but using nothing more than a file. That one file, not a whole set of files, that one file, some sandpaper, 400, 800, 1000 is what I used. You end up, this one started off exactly like this one, and now it's got a round shaft, very smooth, a smaller flag. It's actually beveled on the front and rear edges, so it slides under the pins really well. I was able to pick my first dimple lock with this. There'll be a video on that coming out here shortly. Anyway, you don't need a lot of money. You can get started in this with, some simple tools. So, thanks for watching.